Do you remember the most scary experience? Yeah, I guess so. I do. I would say that the scariest was when I like stayed over with a couple of friends, in like this big house that's basically like a mansion, right? This old friend like had a pretty I would say rich family, I guess. But their house was very, very old. I would call it a mansion because it was huge. It had like many floors and it was humongous, right? It had a patio and everything. We were all cool and everything, right? Like playing some music, playing some card games. But when everything was like, when it was nighttime, like this friend started telling like stories about like what happens at night in the house, like crazy things. Let me also just say that they did have pets. However, they have like two massive dogs that were only outside of the house, right? They also for some reason have a chameleon. They had a chameleon and maybe a cat, right? Maybe a cat. I don't remember very well. But like they were never to be seen when we were there. So you have the living room and you have a lot of rooms. There weren't enough room for people to sleep in the rooms, but so like I think like 4 people and me would have to sleep in the living room. The living room has a humongous table. It's a very long table, a chandelier, a library, and also a piano, like a very, very old piano. And so this friend told us stories about like what happens at night. And one of the first things that happen is obviously there's a weird sounds going on, right? Like knocks and people walking and going up the stairs, going down the stairs. The piano playing itself, like playing a very eerie melody. And I was like, ain't no way that happens. I play the piano a little bit just to like see how it sounds. It was out of tune, so I can understand why it would be an eerie melody if he said was true, right? So yeah, nighttime comes around, everybody goes to rooms. Me and other 4 people stay in the living room. Actually it's me and 3 people, so it's 4 of us, right? We stay in the living room and we sleep. Everything's fine, everything's normal. I was like, okay, it's whatever. I wake up around like 2 or 3 a.m. Of course around that time. Only I wake up, but I don't get up. Okay, I don't get up. The only reason I woke up was because of the weird sounds. I heard some weird sounds. I couldn't go back to sleep. I checked around really quickly, right? I glanced and everybody was sleeping. So I didn't want to worry anyone. Then guess what happened? First, the piano started playing. Crazy. I was like, no freaking way. Ain't no way. I was trying to think to my mind, maybe it's the cat. Maybe it's the cat that stepped on the piano several times. But yeah, the piano started playing like very slow, like eerie melody. Kind of crazy. Yeah, kind of crazy. Next thing that happens is that I start feeling that something is walking up my back. Insane. Like, how when you're in a bed, right? When you're in a bed, if something, let's say like if you have a pet, right, and they start walking on the bed, like you can kind of feel, or if anybody else like steps on the bed, you can kind of feel that, right? Like something else is on the bed, right? And we all had like mini beds for everyone in the living room, right? So yeah, that's how it felt. And then that's not even the craziest thing, okay? That's not even the crazy. I was like freaking scared. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. For the next 5 minutes, I couldn't go back to sleep. And then suddenly, I was like, okay, frick this. It's like 3:30 a.m. I'm just going to get up and look around. This is the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. So I decided to get, when you're laying down and then you just get up and you're like sitting, right? That's what I did, okay? But hear me out. Yeah, because I was like, I'm just going to confront this thing. Like, there is no way. If anything happens, I'll just wake up everyone, right? So, as soon as I get up, the other 3 boys also got up. But they were not They were sleeping. They were sleeping. And then that lasted for like 3 seconds and everyone went down. And I was like, hello? Did you guys see that? Why? Nobody would answer. Nobody would answer. I ended up falling asleep. And the next day I told everyone what happened. And nobody knew what the frick I was talking about. Nobody remembered getting up like that. Nobody heard anything. It was just me. It's insane. Actually insane. And it was not a dream because I know when dreams are dreams. Did he sleep over again? Hell no. Hell no. The next time that we did that, this is crazy, but the next time that we did that, because we would go there like every now and then, because it was like a big house and everybody could like, you know, like hang around and play cards and play music and whatever. When everybody went to sleep at like 3 a.m. or so, I would just call a taxi. I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna go home. Yeah. You went there again? Yeah, because when everybody's awake, it's like, there's no problem. But that was me, and me alone. Like, obviously something there did not want me. Yeah, I called a taxi at like 3 a.m. and I just left.